Good evening, members of the board, city leadership, and the community. While I am currently chairman of the Civilian Review Board, the views in this statement are purely my own. I believe that there is a crisis in leadership and morale in the Charlottesville Police Department. Over the course of the past year, I have been meeting with officers from the Charlottesville Police Department in order to become a better informed member of the Police Civilian Review Board. Many of those conversations have led me to speak with other senior leaders in our community for corroboration and additional facts. Those sources will remain confidential. However, the content of this statement has been corroborated by at least two sources for the facts presented. This statement is made without regard to race or gender, but rather leadership capacity and effectiveness. Over the course of my discussions with CPD officers and other senior local leaders, the board has learned of the existence of a command climate survey, that which we just voted to receive the rest, which was designed to provide an internal gauge of the conditions of the Charlottesville Police Department. The Police Civilian Review Board was provided with one of the 70 response forms. The respondent states that leadership takes problems around the department personally, leadership is not open to evaluation and improvement, and that the survey will not be taken seriously by leadership and used to move the department as a whole in a positive direction. It's further stated that the officer is actively seeking employment elsewhere, with leadership and their decisions being a major factor. Of particular note, the officer states, "I would really like to see the morale in the department be in a much better place. This is huge in retaining staff. Pay is important, but appreciation is key," end quote. It's also my understanding that the other 69 responses present a similarly dire picture. Additionally, the Police Benevolence Association has subsequently conducted another survey under which 80 to 90% of the 65 responding officers reported a negative view of the climate inside of the Charlottesville Police Department due to the perceived leadership shortcomings. I've also been made aware that officers of the PBA have been threatened with retaliation if the survey is published. Through additional conversations with senior local government leaders, the problems with police morale and unresponsive and inflexible management have been known for some time, but no action has been taken to date. It is my recommendation that community members email and call all members of City Council and the city manager every day until action is taken on behalf of the greater good of the community. Additionally, it is my recommendation that community members follow my lead and support City Council candidates in favor of strong police oversight for Charlottesville City Council in November. If there was ever a case showing why this board should be fully funded and supported, this is it, due to the fact that this is the only government entity that has been transparent with the public on this matter and bringing this to the public's attention. A strong policing oversight body would also provide officers with a place to bring reports of abuses and policy violations without fear of retaliation or fear of an unfair process. I've also received correspondence that's been sent to members of city leadership, and I'll just read a few excerpts. The men and women of the Charlottesville Police Department are hurting. They are looking around the national and local landscapes and only seeing negative examples and opinions of police work amplified at the expense of the majority in this profession. Naturally, we would look to our leadership in the department to demonstrate our good works and represent us as police officers to our community. Unfortunately, we have lost faith in the leadership of this department. We've realized that we can no longer rely on the standard procedures that provide due process. As mentioned previously, there was a subsequent survey, and from that, I will read just 5 questions. 1, if you are accused of violating policy, do you believe you will receive a fair administrative process? 82% of the 65 respondents said no. Have the actions of leadership caused you to reduce your normal policing activities, traffic stops, arrests, community policing, etc., for fear of being unfairly targeted? 82% say yes. Do you feel professionally supported? 71% say no. Is training at CPD readily available, sufficient in scope, and applicable to your daily duties? 63% say no. What are the 4 largest concerns CPD faces presently? And these are in order: lack of trust and faith, unfair discipline, low morale, and pay. From the information that's been provided to me through officers in this community, I believe it is incumbent upon us as a community to hear what they are saying and to request that city leadership take action as appropriate. When I arrived on this board, I arrived with the intent of advocating for community members in the community. Advocating for officers in the community never crossed my mind. However, due to the current climate and what we are trying to do as a board, this is something that's necessary in order for us to get to where we need to go. And that's the truth. That's being transparent. That's letting the public know exactly where we stand as a community in this particular space.